Welcome everybody to another episode of Close the Gap. I'm JR. You already know the vibes. If you guys are feeling it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down low. Let me know what you're feeling. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Again, truly honored and blessed to have everybody comment and let me know what you guys are thinking. But the gentleman to the left of me, let me tell you, he came from having a food truck and first being my friend. First and foremost. It's seventh grade,
yeah.
right?
12 years old, probably.
12 years
13
old.
Maybe, something like that.
Going to the pool in the summer of probably 2009 or 99. Having a crazy summer then. Oh my God. Yeah. Right? So
no, not even 99, bro. No, man. I'm 12. I'm 36 years old.
Yeah, me too.
So, not 99. That was like
98, 97?
Well, if I graduated 2001,
yeah.
That means we went to high school, and so it was like 95. Right?
Shit.
Right?
95.
Like 95, bro.
Okay. Yeah. So from 95, right? From going to the pool in 95, chilling, having a wild summer, progressing to owning a food truck back in 2012, right? To owning a restaurant, right? And now an operator, let me rephrase it, from owning a restaurant and operating the restaurant.
Yeah.
You didn't own it. Your ass was back there cooking and operating,
right?
Yeah. And then becoming a life coach.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, welcome Daniel Diaz.
What's up, everybody? Happy to be here. Excited to be a part of this, and hope to impact as many people as we can. If you're listening out there and you want to get something started in your life, you're thinking of this calling, you've got this dream, you want to build something, you're trying to close the gap and get there quicker, we're happy you're tuned in. Hopefully this will be a help for you guys.
Yeah, man. So, look, Daniel, I like to start off asking this question. Do you remember what part of being an entrepreneur busted your ass in the beginning? Now, since you've been in two verticals, you can have two answers or one general one.
What busted my ass on the first go around was definitely cash flow.
Okay.
Right?
The revenue.
Cash flow.
Cash, right.
Yeah, especially the food industry. Especially the food truck industry in Northern Virginia when it gets cold in the winter. And people don't want to be outside. Yeah. I don't blame them. I don't want to stand outside for food and it's cold, right?
Right.
We have opportunities to walk inside of places. So
no
in the winter, it's cold. And
right.
I would say that was probably like one of my first really daunting experiences after having started it, right?
And then what about going into a brand new vertical?
Cash flow. Brand new vertical, man. Like this new business has been really exciting.
Okay.
Like really exciting, you know, like I've taken a lot of the lessons that I learned and, you know, the so-called failures, but the lessons that we learned on that first go around, like being in 7 years in that business and,
right.
You know, kind of making this transition a couple of years ago and really stepping into this has been awesome.
Good, man.
It's been really awesome,
man.
right? So, but the challenge is, it's something totally new, right? So it's like starting over from scratch, right?
Right.
It's like learning a new game, right?
Right.
It's like dating all again. Like, thank God I'm not dating now. Like, I don't know if I can use those apps, bro. Yeah. Like, people use apps and shit now. I can't use that.
No,
I don't know how to do that. Thank God that I'm
I would be so lost.
Blessed.
Right.
Right? Like, anyway. Okay. So, yeah, but same with business, though, right? Like, it grows the same and it's a new beast. And, like, now it's so much more social media, right? There's so many more new avenues to put yourself in front of somebody.
Right. Yeah. That's a good point.
So it's kind of like this whole new approach, right? And it's really like an unveiling, I feel like, nowadays, like with businesses, you know? I mean, think about where people were in businesses, even in the hospitality business in the 80s and 90s and shit, you know, like ducking and dodging the cash reports and like, just, everything's fucking credit card now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everything is different. Like, everything is different. And like, now the way that we do business, even the way that we live, right? It's like exposed and it's open.
You know what, man? That's crazy that you even say how things are different, right? What's the people out there when you go to Giant and you hear them with the bell and they're collecting money? They're always in Christmas. Oh my God.
It's like, are you trick? Is this a trick question?
No,
Like,
no.
What,
yes.
I didn't mean to say it like that, but like, no, it's like the Santa help, like the
Yeah.
Santa, like it's for a good cause.
Right, it's for a good
I don't
cause.
know what it is. I give the money to it, but I don't know what it's for.
So
Probably sound pretty silly right now.
I know, right? We both probably should know this, but it's all good.
These people
Right.
should not be on the air.
So look, man, the change, the transition, because now this year, dude, if you don't have cash,
They have swipe cards and things like that.
you can't just be like, I ain't got cash. They'll be like, well, you got your phone?
Yeah, I'll take Apple Pay.
I'll take Apple Pay.
Direct to my watch.
Right. Like, shit. Like the change, right? That's what you were talking about.
Yeah.
There's a huge change in the way businesses ran, how businesses are conducted, but here at this particular podcast, we want to keep it super back to the roots, right? How the hell did we start where we started? Because the grind is always the grind.
Yeah.
Technically. I mean, I know we're fast forwarding a lot and the viewers know this, but still, the grind is always the grind. It's the hours that you put in, it's the ideas, but it's always you pushing forward to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But before we get into that, bro, tell the people who are you, man? Tell them a little bit about your origin stories. And I got some questions about your origin stories, too.
Sure. I lived fast for a while, right?
Yeah.
In college and kind of out of college and stuff like that. And then I kind of made a big change in my life and a drastic shift when, I don't know, I made a change and when I was like 26 years old. I decided I was going to travel the world and I was like, I'm gone.
And you actually did it.
But I did it, and it was incredible, and it did change my life. And everybody says like, it's going to change your life, and it was right. Like it changed my life, and it changed the way I thought about people, the way I thought about connections, and like this kind of existence of ours, right?
All right.
And I came home with this new enlightened feel, and like I'm just going to go and work a little bit,
all right,
and then I'm going to get some money, and I'm gone again.
Okay.
Like, I'm going to travel again.
All right. How do you do it? How do you travel around the world twice? What else? What are you going to see?
Well, it's okay. Great question, right? So, like, do you remember like the app that's like where like or the picture, the thing that you can like do where you type in all the places you go,
yeah,
and it tells you the percentage you saw of the world, right? Or like
right.
it shows the color, like all the colors, right?
Yeah.
So I did this, and like when I got back from my trip, thinking like, oh my god, this is gonna be such a cool little map, right?
Right.
And it's like I couldn't even see. It was like deek deek deek. I did
even...
like 13 different countries. I went all the way around the world, right? It was like boop boop. You've seen 3% of the world. I was like, what? So like,
tell you the world is bigger.
Right,
than you
it's
think.
huge, man. You know what I
right.
mean? Like it's amazing. And like I was like, oh, I'm gonna go do South America. I'm gonna do this, you know. I linked up with a friend of mine, and being just kind of a business guy, like I've always been business savvy.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the way my very first business, right, was in 7th or 8th grade when I had my mom was my employee, my one employee. It was my first real company, right?
Shout out to mom.
Shout out to Ma Dukes, right? Like I took we got lunches at school, right? And there were shit lunches, and I had my mom always made me this really nice lunch, right? A little sandwich, a little bag of chips, right? A little drink, and I started getting compliments on my lunches, and I was like, I can get you this lunch.
Easy.
Right? No problem. But like, I was like, it's not going to cost the same $2.50 that you pay for this shit lunch at school, right? Like, it's going to cost like $4, right? But like, if you can pay for that, I'll get you the lunch, right?
Yeah.
So I asked I asked my mom, like, well, how much does it cost to make all these to make me a sandwich? How much does it cost for my lunch?
Right.
So like, if I could get enough to pay you some to do extra for work, right? And like, I'm thinking that this is a big deal, right? Like, bless my mom's heart, right? Like, this she probably collected like 67 cents a sandwich, right? Like, bless her heart, she was like, I'm gonna help my little young business entrepreneur son, right? Like, so like, I was like, I could get you a little extra money, and then I can make money. So she was making like 7-8 people sandwiches. Like I was making like $20 a week, and I was like 12 years old, right? I was like crushing it. Like that's like huge, right? Like that's like big business. I mean, shit. At that age, that was like a double week.
No joke. Like
oh my God. Easy. Yeah. So like that was my first one until eventually, like after like 2 or 3 weeks, she was like, I love you, son. I can't do this shit anymore. Like no more slave labor.
We're done. I can't do this for free.
But anyway, I digress, right? Like, sorry, that was a long story. So, but I have this little streak. So I get with my buddy. We're just like, we both love traveling. He was kind of with me, like virtually, like when I went on my trip around the world. And we were always checking in and talking to each other. And so let's open up a taco place like in Spain, one of the islands. Like, let's just go over there and open up a little taco place on the beach. Like, fuck it. And I was like, yes. Like, you know, on like one of the islands, it's only open, like Ibiza, you know, Mallorca or something. It's only open like, you know, 8 months out of the year. And then we'll go travel.
Right.
We'll work it and we'll go travel. And it's just like, this is going to be incredible. Like, this is right in line with what I want to do.
Right.
Plus, I get to cook, which I love to do. Right. Like, this is going to be great. And then it was like, well, let's do a taco stand. I'm like, maybe we should do a truck. Then we get a food truck, you know. And then it was like, maybe we should open it here, like in the States.
So were both of you, okay, so was he local?
Yeah. Friend from right around the area.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So we got to the, you know, we started like building this kind of real concept and idea, right? It just became, because it was born out of something we really wanted, like a real passion, right? Like it can't just be about money, right? Like when we're gonna make something, you're gonna do something, like it's got to be about, like there's something that enthralls you to make the decision to jump, right? Like there's something that you really, really want. You're super excited about it. So it's like, you just get obsessed about it. It's like, we're thinking about all this stuff and it's like, maybe we should do it here.
Okay.
Right? Like what if, because like my one friend, my buddy Paul, who I'm really close with through college, he's one of the guys in my first job in the kitchen.
Oh shit.
And he's like, dude, kitchen stuff breaks all the time. He's like, you're going to be moving around in a truck with like, basically stuff that's not supposed to move. He's like, it's gonna break. Like stuff's gonna. He's like, you're gonna need help. Like you're gonna need someone to fix shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe we should do it somewhere where we know a lot of people, right? Like maybe we should do it here just to get the hang of it and see how to fix shit and fix stuff on the truck.
That's smart.
Right? Like then when we get it, we'll take it overseas, right?
Right.
And then like we're just building and like we're concept building. Like I was working every day. You know, and then I would go to his place afterwards, and then we would start work and brainstorm at like 7 p.m. and then go to like 3 a.m. And then I would just get up and I would just go to work.
Okay.
You know, I was like, I had a place to live, actually right up the street from here, and and I would just stay at his place in Arlington, and I would just go to his house after work, and then go home like 2 or 3 nights a week, and we'd just be brainstorming, like build like ideas. Okay, well, if we want to do this, you know, what can we do? You know, blah blah blah. And then eventually it's like, fuck, man, this is gonna be a really good idea. Like, this is gonna be good.
Right, no bullshit, right?
We might fucking blow up.
Right.
Like, right? And it did. Like, that's what happened. Right? Like, it fucking blew up.
You guys blew up.
Yeah, and like, because we did our research, and like, we worked hard, and like, we built it for like a year before we unveiled it. And then.
That right there is the key, right? You guys did your homework before just jumping out there and investing.
Yeah.
The equipment, I could imagine. The
yeah, but we got like the bet. Like, we smoked the deals. Like, we got, you know what I mean? Like, my business partner was getting like, you know, well, actually, that was a little bit more afterwards. But like, even for the build, like, we looked at this one place that was like trying to crack you in the head, that was out here in Manassas, that was like charging like $80,000 for a fucking truck, not including like your equipment. I was like what the fuck?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So we started talking to other people, you know what I mean? And then like we found this one place, and like, you know, we got the build for like $20,000 or something like that for our whole build out, including all of our stuff. And like, you know what I mean? Like, we did our work. Like, in our actual, the stuff in our truck was actually all brand new. After that, my business partner he found out about the auction sites and stuff, and then we just started getting everything for pennies on the dollar. You know what I mean? For like for the restaurants and stuff like that. So
that's crazy. So you've always okay. So what I'm hearing is there was some sort of passion.
I forgot that we were originally just telling a story.
I love it, because that's the whole point of this, right? Because there is no time limit. There is no like, oh, we got 15 minutes, blah blah. No, I love it because that's what people need to hear. People need to hear the truth behind it, right? Because
we hustled.
That's the thing, because everybody always sees like the front end of shit, right? Like, oh, Daniel got a food truck. Oh, he's doing so well, right?
Yeah.
But has anybody really heard or understand the story behind, like, shit, they was trying to rape me out here for a fucking food truck, $80,000. Knowing I could go somewhere else if I had to hustle enough and I had the big enough vision to hustle more to find more shit, right?
Yeah.
So you had a passion, right? So have you always had that passion of serving people? Because from the food, let's talk. I mean, shit, you were hustling sandwiches in 7th grade.
Hustling sandwiches.
You get what I'm saying? To fucking open up a food trucks, right? You had Rito Loco, and then El Techo, right? That was that was another part of. That was the ceiling for those that don't know.
Sure.
Roof.
Yeah.
Was that 2 different things? I guess. Sorry, I know.
No, it's okay. I was thinking originally just about all this stuff. I was like getting excited about it because there's so many different transitions that have happened, right?
Right.
Like, yes, I've always had a drive. I've always been driven. I've always had like this mindset, like I can do and I can accomplish. Yes, for sure.
Right.
But it's also changed a lot. Like, so like in the beginning, like, I sold sandwiches, but like I mean, I sold fireworks to the neighborhood kids when I was in like 8 or 9 grade. We went to South the Works. The first time I learned how to wheel and deal. My dad's like, you sell these for $5 a piece, but then you give,
Yo, shout out to South of the
then
Border.
you give like
y'all don't know where that
4 for
shit's
50.
at.
Yeah, right.
Yo, go there to get some fireworks if you're feeling some fireworks.
My dad's like, you do 3, 5 for 3, or but 3 for 10, shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's taught me the wheel and deal and stuff. So like I was always, but it was all more about like money. Like I just wanted to get some money. I wanted to be able to buy my stuff. Like I wanted to be able to get
so the
things that I liked.
The drive was generated by the bag. Get in the bag.
Yeah, it was things that I wanted. Like the go-kart, man. I don't remember the go-kart that I used to have. Like I bought that hard-earned money from mowing lawns. You know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
that shit was fun.
Yeah, like I liked music and sounds. So I bought a surround sound. It was like a big purchase back in the day. All these speakers and subs when you're a little kid. But I just cut grass and did like I just, like I did whatever I could do, and I always liked to have that. But and it's the evolution of that and how it's changed and how I am driven now and what I'm realized that the directions to go, right? Like it's not about chasing the money, right? It's about actually delivering the right purpose and like being here and showing up the right way.
Correct.
Because the money comes. It's already here. Like it's fucking abundant. It's everywhere, right? As soon as we're open to it. So like my whole thought process has changed, right? Like I worked my ass off.
Yeah. In
the restaurant business. Right. Hustle. And I believe that is important. You do have to hustle. You do have to do your research. But it's not a requirement of success, right? Like it's not like the only thing. I think what happens is that we get trapped in the identity of the hustle. So like, which is where I was when I was in my restaurant. I was trapped in the identity of it. Like I was like, yeah, like I worked fucking 18 hours a day. Like what? Like I was like, but it's like, why am I so fucking proud of that?
Right.
Like why is it such a like I work so hard.
Yeah.
Like I'm strong and I'm doing it. No, like I'm just fucking identifying with the work.
Damn.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do.
When it's really like now, so like it's interesting because it's like, well, like what, have you always been driven? It's like, yeah, but it's like it's just so different how it's changed. It was like, oh, I wanted to get money, and then it was like with the food truck, it was to travel and work. But then it just kind of blew up into this real thing, and I was like, well, let's like, you're starting to have eyes, right?
Yeah,
like Five Guys and all these people that like just blow up that start at one store, and it's like, oh my God, this is possible.
Yeah, it's happening. It could happen.
Totally, right? So like I just got sucked. Went into that,
right?
And then, like I've gotten stronger. Like my mindset's changed, and I wasn't in a weak mindset, but there was more to learn about the.
That's the key right there, right? There's more to learn. It's having that understanding. It's having that self-awareness that there is more to learn. Because that's interesting that you said something about being caught up in that hustle, being just that mentality. It doesn't mean 18 hours because you hear that. Let's just be honest.
You're right. You hear like, oh, you have to sacrifice everything. Like you have to. It's like
there's a bit of sacrifice,
right?
but it's not falling into I've worked 18 hours because there's a difference, right? You worked to build something from scratch. But what's the definition of you actually doing something? That's the difference of what you do in that 18 hours.
Right.
Some people, like myself at one time, did nothing for 18 hours. Probably made one phone call, met one person, and I said I did work.
Right.
When technically that wasn't shit, right?
Yeah.
Other people do an 18-hour day, and they're working on their dreams. They're working towards their goal.
Yeah.
But I get it, and which was it was a light bulb that hit me in the head. Like shit, like are people just falling in love with the fact that they can say that they're in that hustle? Totally, dude. You know what I mean? Like that.
The struggle is real. Like all this, like it's like but it doesn't, Okay, so the struggle is real, right? Like I feel like people get trapped in that. Like it's almost if like it's supposed to be this hard. It's supposed to be this kind of struggle. It doesn't have to be, right? Like correct. Trust me, man. Like I've been poor. Like it was interesting because I was buying some holiday cards and stuff recently, and I like was transformed in my mind back to this time where like I actually had to buy like $30 worth of Christmas cards, and I was like really I was like almost all my money, and I was like really hurt.
Right.
And I was like, I might as well choke me up now, right? Like it was like tough, and I was like, and I was like, I gotta buy the cards, I was like, I gotta buy them.
Dang, no,
I've been in those times. So like,
yes,
like the ideology of like the struggle is real. Yeah, it's fucking real, right? But like if I lived in that moment, if I stayed there, like, oh my God, like I'm so miserable, like blah blah blah. No, man, like that's what people like to identify with. That's what people like to say, like, well, the struggle's real, so I have to be in it. No, fuck that.
I agree.
Like, you don't have to be.
You don't have
right?
to live in that shit. You don't have to be in there because yes,
and that's how you
close the gap.
That's how you close the gap. You get in the mindset that it's actually abundant and like you have it. And
I knew I brought you over for a reason. Because of that. This honesty, we've all been through our struggles.
Yeah.
But people sometimes live in it.
Yeah.
Don't understand and live in it to the point where they don't know how to get out of it, and all they say is the struggle is real.
Right.
It's hard out here. Right? It's hard out here to do anything. Or
yeah. It's bullshit.
It is.
It's bullshit.
Because it's that switch of mentality that it just takes. I don't know what it does. For certain people, it's different. Hopefully, it's somebody looking at this podcast.
People, right? It validates people.
And
so it allows people to stay where they're at because it's hard.
People. Look at
damn. They just people. I mean, like it's not like they're not doing it. People aren't doing anything wrong.
No.
Right. It's just the way. But if they want to go farther, there's a better way to do it. Right. Like if they want to change, there's a better way to do it. If they want to live and be that way, that's all good. Like they're not wrong. It's totally cool.
No,
people are gonna live totally different lives all over the place. Right.
That's a fact.
But it's like. But it allows them to be okay with it. Like, well, it's hard.
Correct.
So like, I can sit around. Like, it's like, oh well, like yeah, it's like it's like a time. Like, no, they don't give me a chance. Like, you don't get it. Like, no, you don't get it. It's like no. Like, I fucking get it. Right. Like, you don't get it. It's our fault. It's my fault. Right. It's my fault. Like, if I don't succeed in something, it's my fault. It's not fucking other shit. It's not that I don't have enough people to buy it. You know what I mean? It's not that like oh, I put the restaurant in the wrong space. No, I didn't do the fucking research maybe before I put it in there. Right? Like it's always us. It's our responsibility. And like the more that we get centered around everything is our own creation, our own fault, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
Like then we can understand that like whatever's created is just created, which means we can recreate. And we can change, right? So we can do more shit.
That's dope. Yo, right? That's dope.
It's already been created.
If I had a bullhorn or something, I would right. I love it. Yo. So let's talk a little bit back. Let's go back a little bit when you were in that food industry.
Sure.
Okay. So you were getting love everywhere for the burritos that you were slanging, right? These burritos and
they're fucking incredible.
I am honestly kicking myself in the ass for not getting to try one. I still remember coming from Richmond, and I think you were at the Herndon Festival.
Yes.
Right? And I think I was like a day late. And I looked at my wife and I was like, I was kind of blown. But anyways.
It's all good. It's there.
You went from VA to Miami, right?
Yeah. That was righteous.
Yeah, so let's talk about that a little bit. What was the drive? Did you have a different drive then? Because you did go from VA to Miami, and you were in that food truck wars. You were like,
that was really cool. So all right, so super cool. So that was like a mensch, right? Like that was just like a cool little like give that we got. So we got we started the food truck August 2012.
Okay.
Right? We crushed it out of the gate, and then it got fucking cold, and then we suffered in the winter. And we were part of like, let's just go somewhere. It was like, no, we have to stay here and build our brand because like what happened in that first 3 months was like paramount. It was like, holy shit, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like I can't believe how much like success that we're having.
Yeah, that was quick.
And we were learning so much. Like, we were a disaster in the beginning. You know what I mean? But like we were crushing it.
Yeah.
We built it to be a crushing truck, like to do well, right? So like, it just happened to. So we're like, well, we can't leave. We have to stay and build this brand. Like we can't show up, make an impression, and then be gone. Like, I learned that back in the day, right? Like, you got to give someone a treat for a long enough time to get them hooked on something.
I mean, that's a fact. Right? You got
But then we pulled the quick switch and we left people itching the next winter. Right. So like, and we left to Florida. So basically, we went through that first winter and we were like. It was miserable, and it was like when I said what was one of the biggest challenges was that winter. It was the cash flow, and like that was some of the most depressed time. Like so sad, like just like
really
because we were like because like we had like nothing, like we had bills to fucking pay, and like we were like we didn't have any money because like, we worked like we would so we would work 3 times as long, right? To make about a third of the pay,
which you would have made when the weather was nicer or warmer.
Right. right? So like a third of what we were making in the summer, working 3 times as hard, right?
Winter here is no joke.
Right. So like it was killing us, you know. It was like really difficult, but we made it. We cut, but it was great. It was great, right? Like we learned how to cut costs. Like we cut like 50% of our operational costs. Like we fucking got smart and we got lean, and we learned how to operate on a lean budget. Yeah. And it worked out great. Right. It was fucking hard. We're like, well, I don't want to do that again. It's like, yeah, me don't want to do that again.
I don't want to do this shit. Right.
Like I'm good. Like and it wasn't doing that. It wasn't about getting lean because that was great. That was probably one of the best things for our business because we learned once we did it then.
Yeah, exactly.
We could repeat it over and over. So that was incredible. But we were like the next winter. It was like, well, look, like originally this idea was like to get this to like travel, right? Like we were gonna build this thing on an island and then travel. So like we got the truck on wheels so it travels. Let's fucking travel. Like let's go.
So why Miami?
Because that's where my family's from, and like my business partner had tons of contacts there. I've got tons of contacts there, and I was like, let's go to Florida. Like, let's go where we fucking know people. Let's go down there.
Makes sense.
So I went down early and I started checking the scene out, and started learning a little bit about the scene down there.
Yeah.
And we learned a lot more when we got there. Like, you can't actually legally sell food on the street in Miami and South Florida.
Oh, okay. All right.
That was a shot in the face.
Right?
I was like, oh, so you like where can we like can I sell on that street? Like, no, you can't sell anywhere. On the street. I was like, oh, okay, so it's run by one fucking guy that basically got all the permits for all the parks in South Florida, and he runs like food truck events all over South Florida.
Oh, shit.
They have them every night, you know.
Damn,
so
he got a monopoly.
He does. So you gotta get in with the guy.
God.
So I was like, all right, well, I gotta go down there. I gotta go fucking who the fuck do I get in with? So I go down. I looked up the best food trucks. I went to some of the spots. I met like some of the best food truck owners and talked to them. Got to build some quick friendships and relationships. And I was like, let's fucking go to Florida. You know, let's do it.
Okay.
You know, I got the spot. Let's go. So we found a 6-month lease. Interestingly enough, right? Like, well, so we had to do the business stuff. So I was like, we call up the so here it's the DCRA, right?
Okay.
The Regulatory Affairs Office for DC, and then like so there they got their own business offices and licensing departments. So I started calling. So helpful. It took us like 9 months to get our fucking permits for DC. Awful, like just trudging through mud, like up to your neck, like trying to run full speed. Right, it was awful. Florida, this lady is on the phone. I'm like, well, who do I go to? She's like, you know what? I'll send an email right now. And like I could hear her typing, and she's like,
and you're sitting on the phone like
I was like, what? She's helping me right now, live,
right now,
person. I can hear her. Because she's actually mouthing the stroke. So she's like, can you help this nice gentleman with his? I'm like, oh my god,
is this shit really happening?
2 weeks. We got the whole business relicensed, got everything licensed and permitted in 2 weeks.
Makes you wonder why other people can't do that shit.
We shipped a food truck. We loaded it with all of our kitchen stuff. Okay. We shipped the food truck down there. Got down there. We had everything set up. Like we had to, because you have to have a certified kitchen to work out of. So I found a commercial kitchen. I found a commercial kitchen that we could keep our food truck parked at. Yeah. It was 2 miles from a house that we got, 6-month lease, fully furnished. Like took our one employee and we're like, let's go, man. Like let's go, the 3 of us, and we went down there and it was set. So we got the truck shipped and showed up, and then it was like found out we couldn't operate on the street.
That's great, right?
But we made a name for ourselves. We got second best burrito in South Florida. We won second best food truck in South Florida.
Talk your shit.
Yeah, in 6 months from being there, we built our brand. So like we got down there and we're like, it was Art Basel was coming. We're like, we're going to fucking Art Basel. We're gonna set up at Art Basel. We're gonna fucking crush it. You know, there's gonna be so many people, as we know a lot of people. We're gonna set up there.
Right.
So I meet this. One friend puts me in touch with this friend. I go to this guy's gym, and it's like he's like, "Oh, we're gonna set it up in front of the gym, and it's gonna be fucking amazing. We have a huge event.
Right.
All the art walk is right here." Like, yes, you know, but prepping food, mountains of food for thousands of people, right?
Because Art Basel's a huge event.
Huge event, and we get down there and we get set up, and the restaurant that's like at the end of the street is the same. It's the same landlord that owns that entire block, and she calls and she complains, shuts us down. It's like, dude, you got like a nice fine dining restaurant. Like, no one's gonna stop for a burrito at my truck if they're going to your fine dining establishment. Like, that's a total change of pace. Like, that's not how it works. I didn't say. She shut us down. Like, I wouldn't talk to her. And we're like, listen, like, we prepared so much food, expecting that this was not going to go off without a hitch. We even expressed like here's some of our food. Like, it's totally not in competition with what you offer. And she was like, I don't even want to have this conversation. Peace out. Get off. I was like, fuck, dude. It sucked. It sucked for us. It was hard. But We scrambled.
Okay.
The guys at the gym helped us out. They were like, made some phone calls, some people that ran some lots, found a lot, set up our fucking truck, put up picnic tables. All my family from Florida came and helped us with like picnic tables and setting stuff up. And we showed out and like we crushed it, and it was incredible. And it was funny because like at this commissary kitchen, people were watching us. Like, one person in particular was like, "You guys are prepping all this food, huh? Like you guys not from around here?" And I'm like, "Nah." And they're like, "It's a lot of food you're prepping. Hope you sell it." Like, and
well, thank you.
Right? And like, this is like one of the best food trucks, and we outsold that truck that weekend. And then, I remember this, she's like, "How much you sell?" Like, what? Like, for real?
So
like, I was like, because there's no way you guys are gonna sell this food because we're making like 15 5-gallon jugs at Pico de Gallo, you know?
Dude, I still remember watching you on hold on real quick. See, there we go. All right, so because I remember watching you on Instagram.
Yeah.
And seeing you make it, like, first going into the kitchen at like 4 o'clock in the morning, right?
Yeah.
So I was not living with you, but kind of, I was following your journey because, I mean, fuck it, you're my boy. You get what I'm saying? And I am the type of person that's going to give love. So I loved it. So anyways.
Yeah.
Was it that experience that exposed you to that, what was it, Food Wars or War Truck, whatever the food truck competition?
So the cool ass food truck driver or food truck owner. So her name's oh my god, she's gonna be so pissed. No, her name's Robin, but I was trying to think of her last name.
Right. Shout out to Robin.
Pallet Party in Florida. She is a fucking champion. She's won Chopped, and she's been on Cutthroat Kitchen. She's a fucking beast chef. She's incredible. Like, I fucking love this girl. That's why I was like, I know her name. Her name's Robin, but for some reason I just can't remember her last name right now. Anyway, so she was a judge on this show, and she's like, "Do you want to be like a background, like one of the trucks on the show, like a background truck?" So like we were like a background truck. It was like as a Mitch. It was like kind of like, "Oh yeah, we'll slide you in here," and like we got cool with the producers. Hooch were really cool. They actually came out and saw us a bunch of times when we were at some of the other events.
Oh, okay.
And like they tried to set us up for a couple of things. And relationships change and we moved apart and everything. But it was cool. Like they were so cool. Like we got love. It was great, dude. Like we got love. So it was a lot of fun, you know? Like we got to be on that set and kind of be there and sell our food. And we did really well, but it didn't matter. We weren't part of the show officially. Yeah. Right? So it was still cool, man.
No, I think that was
it was
cool
all
experience.
those little things that helped us to get to win those awards and stuff too. I mean, that was a short period of time that we were there.
So then you went from food truck to owning a brick and mortar.
Yeah.
Okay.
We actually signed a lease for the brick and mortar before we went to Florida.
Oh, so you already had this planned.
14 months we had since we opened the food truck. We signed our lease.
Wow.
It just took like almost 2.5 years to get the brick and mortar open because DC sucks at permits. No, it's because it's my fault, right? I can't blame the outside.
You can't blame the outside. It's on you.
Yeah.
Remember,
it's
you
on
had
me.
that conversation. It's
on me.
You're
That's
the variable.
Right. You're damn right.
So that was there a mentality switch because you're going from something in the week like traveling food truck type of thing to now like shit like I got a brick and mortar, I got rent, I think
it was actually, a lot of people, there's a misconception when it comes to food trucks.
Okay.
With thinking that it's so low overhead and like, it's just like this idea of like, it's the way to go. And it's also really hard. And it's like loaded with variables.
I mean,
like weather is one, right? But like everything, my food could be perfect. Everything can be pristine. And I could be driving this 1988 truck that's supposed to do deliveries in a 5-mile radius around my neighborhood on the highway. You know what I mean? And like something could break down. Yeah. And it has nothing to do with my ability as a, it's just like there's a lot of variables in that food truck business that people don't count on. And there's just things, right? Like it's not just weather when it rains. It's also when it's too hot. It's also this, it's that, right? Like it's just, there's just so much stuff that's a variable around the food truck business that it's not like it's this easy way. It's a great way to incubate. It's a great way to test your product.
Then why the restaurant business?
Build a brand. Because
I don't mean to interrupt you.
No problem. That's where I'm going. So like that's right. So like it's because we had to change to that. Our mindset switch was that let's get something with let's get a real spot. Let's have a place where people can come inside.
Right.
Let's change it up. We were thinking we were going to get like 10, 15 trucks. We're like, let's actually get a place. I want to be able to come inside. I want to have air conditioning. Like, I want to have a freaking place. Like,
Right.
I want to have our own spot.
Yeah.
You know, like when you're in the truck, it's literally from me to you to like, this is it. Like, this is our space.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and it's that space for a long time. It's like, you want your own space.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
and because it's not that the food truck is this super high profitable thing, it's an entryway to that next level.
Yeah. Okay.
Really.
Which
You know
makes
what I mean?
sense. Yeah.
Yeah. You can get a fleet of trucks, and that's awesome. It's just a lot of things to be aware. I mean, even once we got the restaurant, even just keeping the truck going, like finding the right people to keep it going.
So did you
Finding
keep,
people
did
in
you keep the
DC.
truck and restaurant going simultaneously?
Oh yeah.
For how long?
Still. Yeah.
Wow.
Truck's still on the road.
Oh shit.
Yeah, turning and burning, baby.
I might have to go visit that.
Yeah.
So let's change. Okay. Got the restaurant. People who probably are watching or have seen you probably know that the restaurant is still out there. Was very successful, right?
Yeah.
Really good food, really good environment.
Yeah.
But you did make a transition.
Yes.
Recently.
Yeah.
What made you decide to step away from the restaurant?
Great question. I found in my journey of running a restaurant, like going from food truck to like this casual running of a business to like actually needing to be more formal in running a business and scaling and like handling what was happening, right? So like that had to change my personal code essentially, right? So that was when I started working on myself, and I changed myself a little bit. You know?
Okay.
And I started doing a little bit more personal development and growth and stuff like that. And in that process, I think I just connected to a little bit of a higher purpose in that process, right? Where I started to see that, I loved my business and I loved it, but there was something bigger and there was something else that I wanted to do. And there was something more, right?
So was that
and there was a pain that people were going through being entrepreneurs and being small business owners.
Right.
And there was a mindset that people were suffering from, that this was where they were, that life was just this, like this struggle is real, right? Like, and I didn't want people to be in that anymore.
So
and
I
want to try to help as many people as possible, basically open up their mind to what the real potential of their life is, right? And their business, right? To really know and see and own it, right? And be able to step into it, because like a lot of people can hold themselves back. I want to help as many people as I can believe that they can do anything.
So Daniel, what do you do now?
Achievable.
Currently?
So now I work as a life coach.
Okay.
I'd like to work my way more towards speaking and getting on stage and doing all that jazz, but man, this is where it starts. This is the new business now,
right?
So this is the new model. So I work with entrepreneurs, I work with people. When it started, I worked a lot with people doing self-confidence rebuilding, right? Kind of stepping in their own power, getting a hold of their own lives, that they can better enhance themselves in their business.
Right.
And now I work a little bit more with entrepreneurs, and my goal is to kind of compress time for them, right? And help them change their mindset a little bit so they can get where they want to go a little faster, right?
It's so
make
important,
more
right?
money. Yeah, make more money, impact more, influence more, but also enjoy their life. So like I'm very big on this elusive balance, right?
I was just thinking balance in my head.
It's interesting. It's such like a hot topic, because some people will be like, there is no such thing as work-life balance. It's not. It's a myth, right? Yeah. But it is true. It's
true.
Real.
No, it's real.
And when you work on your passion, you're not really like working so much. It's just part of your life. It's all this entwined thing.
No,
right?
that's a fact.
Like yin and a yang is one of the oldest symbols forever, right? Because there's balance in it. Right? There's fucking balance.
No, there is balance. I don't want to hear. I can't stand when people say there isn't. There's no such thing between work and life balance. Because as an independent contractor, and I have my clients, dude, I know for a fact from 5 to about 7 o'clock, I'm family time.
Yeah.
I'm with my family.
Yeah.
I'm hanging out. We're eating dinner. No phone calls. If it's not important, let's not do it. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
After 9 o'clock, I'm not picking up any phones, but I'm working. I'm in the trenches of what I'm doing, right? In regards to the marketing stuff for the clients. But I have a hard deadline at like 11:30.
Yeah.
Because I'm up at 5 in the morning every day, working out, getting myself ready to go through the hustle through the day. But I have my balance on the weekend. I'm with my family, and that same time happens.
Yeah.
But on the weekend, it's a lot longer. You know, I'm lucky enough, I'm blessed to have the time to step away to do the podcast and be able to share.
Sure.
My whole point of even sharing that is because it's possible.
Right.
It's your willingness to do so.
Exactly.
Right? And I love the fact that you are helping people, are entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Because regardless if you own your own business, everybody suffers from the same shit.
Sure, man.
It's here.
Yeah.
People fucking fall into their own heads that stop them.
Oh, yeah.
I've been there. You've probably been there.
Absolutely. Imposter syndrome's real.
Yeah. I mean, it's right there.
Yeah.
And if you can have somebody who's genuine.
Yeah.
Because you can tell, like, I've been to a lot of conferences, right?
Yeah.
And I really can't stand those that sit there and go, all right, guys, I just hit you with the broad piece of information. If you want more, I have a book back there for $99.99 and I'll give you more. Like, I'm all about, dude, I'm trying to give you as much value for the free, right, as possible. Because when I come back to the table or you ask me to come back, then maybe, of course, we all need to pay the rent or take care of our families. But my point is, when you come back to me, you're going to know when I pay this guy, he's already giving me like all this value and all this information.
Yeah.
Can you imagine when I hire him, what else he's going to give me?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
For me, that added value is extremely important. And I feel that you add that, especially with your Facebook Live messages, those positive, even when you don't have your positive moments and you share.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that kind of segs me way into the marketing. Stuff
absolutely.
Of it.
Let's do it.
Why the Facebook Live? Why did you feel like rather than just posting an organic post and just scheduling it or putting it out there, that you just jump on to live?
Well, the shallow answer, right, is that it gets you more exposure when you use the platforms more.
100%.
In all their ways.
Yes.
So the short and shallow one is that. I mean, it's true, right? Like if I want to, and that, but it's also not just for like exposure on Facebook, right? It's to reach as many people as possible.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes,
it's
because
like,
Facebook algorithm, once you jump into the Facebook Live, you jump in.
It's about reaching more people.
Yeah.
So like, you know, and that's really what it is. So like it started with just me being like, all right, well, I'm just going to do these because it reaches more people. It gets more people, more visibility, right?
Yes. There's
a message that's ultimately we want to get out there. So like whatever the best way to get it out there in more abundance, I want to do that. Right?
Okay.
And that was kind of what it was. So, and, you know, I don't have an issue with it, right? Like I don't have a problem getting on camera, and like I feel comfortable about it. So like I don't mind doing it.
Right.
I know like I've worked with people that they do have problems with public speaking and things like that, right?
Yeah,
so I'm blessed and I'm grateful that I can do it. So that's probably the other reason why I do it more, because it's easy.
I like it, man. I think a lot of your messaging and you have a core message that's always improving. Yeah. You know, once somebody, whether it's trying to wake up at 5 or 4 o'clock in the morning, right?
Yeah.
Or try to read a book to help you improve or just change what's in here.
Yeah.
And I like it, right? And I know what you're doing because as a marketer, when you go on live, like I was saying before, you jump up into that list of, hey, Daniel's now live, right?
Yeah,
and
right.
While somebody's scrolling in and you go live, you're there. So I think the video part of it
and keeping up with the responding of like the interaction right with the people that are interacting with it.
Has that helped you get any clients though? Like has doing those type of messagings,
ironically, like it's so funny because like I remember I've always wanted to have my Instagram bigger, right?
Okay.
So like, and it's interesting because I've always put like all this effort into Instagram, like I want to try to grow it until I realized that like, well, why am I doing this? Because all my traffic comes from Facebook. So like my business has all been through Facebook, and it's been like people that I don't even know. I didn't even know that Facebook worked this way when it started happening. Right. Like,
right. So what's happening? Can you kind of give me an example? What's happening?
I guess, and I'm not even that tech savvy, right? So I feel silly when I talk about some of this stuff. It's like, but everything's on public on my Facebook. So like now I've been putting out stuff, more videos, and we're talking for the last couple of years, and it's just like now more and more people seem to be hearing it, and I'm getting contact from people that are just like, hey, like I've been listening to your stuff. I want to almost like, this is great, like, wow, right? Yeah. Now it's been building that on referral base, so it's kind of really happened in this really organic way.
I love it,
right? But the back message there is that like here I am thinking to myself, like, I want to build up Instagram because I need that, you know.
Yeah.
But like, I just needed to lean in to where I was getting the traction, and it was helping me. It was, you know, like doing those messages and commenting back with people, you know, because there's an algorithm there too, right? When you comment with someone, then it puts the thing back on the top.
Correct.
And it continually cycles more and more.
Correct. That engagement that you have with the people that are leaving comments does help, right?
Right, it does.
So, and I'm a firm believer, and I know you just said that you lean heavy on Facebook, but I would, if you don't mind me, encouraging you more to lean into all the platforms the same exact way. My reasoning is, and this is what I tell clients, is because Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and all those are and LinkedIn's a great one.
Yeah, LinkedIn's where I'm gonna go next.
So I've been doing a lot of LinkedIn posts, promoting the podcast or sharing articles within the digital marketing field, but when I engage with people, those articles help. But what's crazy is, dude, LinkedIn has changed to the point where it's becoming Facebook. It's no longer that platform where, I gotta find a job or I need to get no.
Yeah, it's legit now.
It's legit. It's legit. Like, if you have an idea or if you want to share something, you could go about doing it. Yeah. Through LinkedIn. But now you're capturing maybe some high end executives, some mid level executives. But my point, I guess, is to continue to do all the platforms, because you just never know what algorithm changes might happen or if one falls. Totally. And I'm a big believer. And
I still do IG. I still do stuff.
No, that's good. Yeah, because I see you on IG.
I gotta be on them.
So is video helpful? Is great. Is putting video helpful?
I think it's always helpful. I think anytime that we can put ourselves closer to the person, right? And that's in all aspects. That's not just being on social media, like in anything, right? Like like if I want to close a deal, if I can be there, if I can talk to you or be in front of you, right? It's gonna be better. Right. It's there's a connection, right? So like I think video is huge because you can connect more. People can see you.
I agree.
And you can see them, right? I agree. Essentially, right? Like people want to be seen, right? And sometimes to be unveiling ourselves helps other people feel like they can be seen too, right? So like the video is huge. I mean,
I think video is the wave.
And it gets the message across, right? It's just like text can be misconstrued, right? Yeah. Like, I'm on my way home, babe. Like, don't yell at me.
Right. Stop yelling.
Like, I don't understand.
Right. I just put an exclamation mark. You know what I mean? Like, relax. Like, I'm not screaming, you know?
Let's go speed round.
All right. We're going to do a quick speed round. All right? So, how many hours would you put in working on your skills? How many hours would you suggest for people to work on skills or branding or whatever?
Great question. And this is a speed round. So
this is a speed round.
I mean, I think it's important for people to be honest with themselves. Okay. Right? Yeah. Like, how much time can you do it? Like, I worked, there was times where I worked 18 or 19 hours a day for 6-7 days a week. I mean, there was a period for 8 months where I worked 27 days every month, 18 hours a day. Okay. Right? And then I would have like 4 days off. Straight, right? And I did that. So like, there's all kinds of stuff that you can do, right?
So being self-aware.
But I think it's really being self-aware, and it's also being really focused on actually what are you getting done in that period of time, right?
Yes.
So
I agree with that.
A lot of people will overestimate what they can do in a year, and they'll underestimate what they can do in a decade. So like being real true with yourself about what you really want will help you set your time and how much time you need to spend.
That's dope.
Does that make sense?
It does. Cool. Has being an entrepreneur affected your family life any?
Yeah, I mean, I think when I was as a restaurateur and gone all the time, I thank God my wife is like the most amazing person in the world. Like we never had an argument about me having to work a lot. Like she will never stand in my way of actually building a dream or doing something. And she's actually like one of the best driving forces in my. She is the best driving force in my life. That and our child, right?
That's awesome.
But yeah, absolutely, right? Because I come home tired. It's emotionally, it was draining, right? There was emotional and mental and physical draining on myself from where all the energy was being put. Okay. So now that now with personal development and changing my direction, I changed my family life too. But there was a suffering time because of it, because I didn't understand how to better. Yeah. I didn't understand how to do it better.
You were in that learning curve.
I was in the learning curve, right? Yeah. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, it can strain relationships. It can strain hobbies, like things you like to do for yourself. It can strain health, right? Like what we do to our bodies and like
very
so like
true.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
How do you define success?
Ooh, living life on your own terms.
That's dope. All right. Do you believe that there's some sort of pattern or formula to becoming a successful entrepreneur?
Yeah.
You do?
Absolutely. A pattern and a formula? Yeah. What exactly is it?
Right? That's
honestly, I would think at this point in my life, the best advice that I can give people is to get extremely clear on what they want and when they want to have it by. Right?
Having a timeline.
Right? And then why?
And why?
Why do you even want it?
Big.
The why is huge, right? It's the most important thing, right?
True.
Like you figure out what you want, you figure out why you want it,
yeah.
right? And then it's okay, well, when do I want to have it by?
Yeah.
And then we figure out the how.
Okay.
So there is a pattern. I also think that if you don't take care of yourself, like our business is a direct reflection of ourself, right? So like if your business and you're like trying to make the ends meet and trying to do this stuff, you're probably having an exact mirroring thing in your own life. It just might be in some different area. Like maybe you can't make the things meet when it comes to spending time with your kid or like doing something else. Like
that's a good point.
Like I'm just I'm never there's never enough time. I'm always strapped. You're probably always strapped for time in your own life. So like when you correct your own life and you work that clean, your business is reflective. So like if there a pattern as well to that, yes, you have to take care of yourself in order to make a thriving business.
No, that's correct.
And be super fucking honest with yourself.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
You cannot like the days of like I've been working all day, but I really spent 4 hours scrolling on my phone.
That's what I was just saying, right?
You're
not working all day.
And be honest with yourself about it.
You have to be
like you gotta be fucking honest. And that's okay. Like we don't have to be machines.
We're humans.
Yeah, we don't have to be machines, right? But we have to be honest and okay and understand where. And that's getting all those pieces, the clarity, the why, right? The reasons what you do is the pattern, man. Like,
that's dope.
Because once you have that, you don't need to figure out how to do shit. Like,
so before we jump out, I got a question. Another one. What entrepreneur tricks have you discovered that helps you keep focused? Because again, it's closing the gap, right? Mm-hmm. So what type of tricks have you learned?
Being accountable.
Okay.
Getting someone to help you be accountable is good.
Okay.
Right? That's one of the coolest things I think about actual social media is it's not necessarily, for me personally, in my experience, is I try not to use it anymore for this comparison platform, right? It's an accountability platform for me. So when I say on camera and what I put out there, I better fucking do it.
Ah, that's a fact.
So
big fact.
Right. So accountability, I would say, is a huge trick for entrepreneurs. And I would say also learning how to delineate the differences of what is most important and urgent versus what is only urgent and not important and what is only important and not urgent.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
No, it does.
Because we try to do way too much shit and we have to learn a system to actually compartmentalize, like, do we really need to do something? Like, when we start to get into that flow, when we start to work with, like, a greater purpose, like,
that's dope.
That's when shit starts to fly. That's when money comes in abundance and everything else you want.
I love it. So, Daniel, tell people how you can be reached, what's next for you.
Awesome.
Let them know.
You guys can check me out on Facebook. I got a website going live soon. It's going to be called Peak Life Now. You can reach me via Instagram or Facebook, Daniel Diaz, lifecoach@gmail.com if you want to reach me there.
All right. Well, guys, thank you again. You guys know, you already know the vibes. Thank you guys so much again for watching another episode of Close the Gap. I'm with my boy. It was amazing to have you on here. I appreciate it. Again, it was an opportunity for you to talk a little bit of shit. Right? Yeah. And as well as give advice, and I think you've given it. So if you're watching it, please take notes, rewind. He dropped some gems on you. Again, y'all, thank you again for watching another episode of Close the Gap. Peace.
Go.
What you think?
It was fun.